either, because you don't know it is the effect of whatever it is you're doing. High probability, but you don't know it. So let's even push it a little bit further. A little bit further. I want this line now to represent processes. Processes. That can be all the elements of a cake coming together, being transformed in the process and emerging, out comes a cake. But then, would you not agree, anything that exists in this room, if we were to look at it over a span of time, consider the span of time greater and greater as we proceed in our discussion, that it's likely that if we stood here under these circumstances for a certain length of time, everything would change and age and decay, and there'd be other things taking their place. So everything is in a process of transformation. Everything. Everything. Yet, in this process of transformation, at any time, they are particular forms that take particular shapes, take place of many things that seem to have a stability over a period of time. Even though within each of these things they are transformations, things are added, things are subtracted, and yet the form seems to endure for a certain period of time. Yet within the whole span of time, even the forms change. And that's our reality. Forms and processes. Now. There are a couple of questions now we can ask, right? I have three. Anything that we say that has a form, our bodies, our being here, is a mystery. It is a genuine mystery. Is it meaningful to ask, why does it exist? Why did it come into existence? Why did it go through the transformations and be destroyed?
Well, no, astronomy goes into that. Astronomy.
Yes.
They say the sun was first, and that's why we have the Earth. They
Yeah.
calculated through going back in time.
The only place we play this game is in cosmology, isn't it? In the subatomic world, we don't. We don't for an interesting reason, and maybe I'll get there quick. Should I get there or not? No. I'll do it now. Going back to the recipe. Here it is. This is a very strange principle, and I always enjoy talking about it. In any subject, you can only talk about the things beneath the thing you are interested in, and never the thing you are interested in. Right, I'll make that clear. Right, let me do it again. Right? Any subject that you are interested in, you will never be able to understand it if you study the subject you're interested in. Because the thing that you are going to be studying belongs to something higher than the subject you are interested in. Okay, let's see if I can do that now. The chair. If I want to study chairs, right, if I want to study a chair, I'm obliged to study its parts, am I not? If I want to study the human body, I'm going to be studying its parts, am I not? If I study the parts, I'm going to have to see how they are connected, joined, under what conditions the transformations within the body take place. Wait a minute. I am no longer studying the body, I'm studying its parts. Is that right?
In a sense.
In what sense?
That's the only way you can do it.
Huh?
Sure, you have to do it that way.
Anything you're interested in, never study the thing you're interested in because you'll never understand it. Here's the principle. See? You see this preeminently in science. Anything you want to study, the way you study it is you want to find out what are the parts that make it up. Whatever you're studying, you want to see the parts and how the parts are joined, what keeps them together, and how they fall apart. That's essentially science. So whatever you're studying, no matter how small it is, you always have to have something that can break it into smaller parts so you can see its legitimate parts. Therefore, if you want to study this, you don't study this, you study its parts and how the parts combine, join, and separate. Wait a minute. Then you're not studying the particular thing you're interested in.
Right, that's Western medicine. Western medicine.
That's right. That's Western medicine. That's this. And that's why that new branch is so interesting and vital, holistic medicine.
Right.
Let's take it as a whole. That's right. New kind of thinking. So that, see, once you're exploring something in terms of parts to whole, you're no longer exploring the thing and its causes.
Right. Science becomes more and more fragmented.
It has to,
Yeah.
doesn't it? And then you have to have something stronger and stronger and harder to smack the smaller and smaller thing into, so that you can then study its legitimate parts. Yeah, quite true, see? Now, look here. That means if you want to study something holistically, you have to study it across, don't you? You have to study it in terms of others. Your study now must be man. If you want to study the part, you'll lose it. So therefore, the part to whole is a very interesting dialectic. Anything that you want to study, you're going to be studying its parts. Therefore, if you really want to study it, you must go to the next higher class. Then you can study it as a part of a higher class. When you break things down into the parts, whole in parts, you're no longer exploring causes and effects. You're no longer exploring causes and effects. You're not exploring the question of why it exists. Right? Why did it come into existence? Why is it destroyed? All the whys are gone. All the why questions are gone. And in its place you have a new one. How? How do the parts of a whole function together? Why did it come into existence? No. How do the parts of a whole, how do they come together? See, come together, no longer into existence. How do they come together?
How they function.
That's right. How they function. No longer whys, that's out. All out. Therefore, we have no dialogue to explore these higher level questions because we're approaching it in this rather curious way that we always lose the thing we're studying by studying it in the lower class of which our interest is in the higher. Now look here. Suppose someone were to say, look here, there is sufficient evidence that there is order through this process and transformation. That forms reappear with great regularity. Right? The forms themselves are intelligent.